Always let your conscience be your guide.
Welcome to the Abridged walkthrough for the North Star app. North Star is an app that brings information to the end user when they're making a decision so that the decision they make more closely aligns with their personal moral beliefs. And so in this walkthrough, we're just going to take a really quick look at what the user experience will be to download the app, to set it up and to use it for its first use. And in a future series of videos, we'll take a much closer look at how it all works. So we're just going to click through the logo screen. And we have a dummy account that we're going to have set up, and we'll just use that for our sign up. We have a quote in our loading screen. This is something that I have submitted myself. It's a quote that I like, but for the crowdfunding campaign, anyone that donates a certain dollar amount and above will have the opportunity to submit a quote that they particularly like, and they'll be displayed at random on the loading screen in the functional app. So once it loads, you can see that we have our header here with just some basic information that I'll explain in a later video, and then really where the action takes place is going to be down here. And a series of bubbles will guide us through the setup process. But the gist is we need to calibrate our compass. And what that means is there's going to be a series of points, which are just statements that we agree or disagree with, that helps the app to understand what we believe in, what our moral compass is. And so, although there are a few categories that the points will pertain to, in this video we're just going to look at animal rights. So we'll click on that, and you can see that there are a few statements here, and we're gonna set our compass for these 3 points just for this video. So we'll click on the first one, and we're going to state whether we agree or disagree with this statement. So is it okay to kill animals for food? Maybe we'll agree with this one. So we'll answer it and click done, and you can see that the app has registered our response here. So we'll click on the second one. It's okay to kill animals for sport. Maybe we'll disagree with this one. And then we'll click done, and you can see that the app has also registered this one. It's registered it as red because we disagreed. I'll explain what this means in a future video. And then we'll get to our last one. It's okay to cause intentional harm and suffering to animals. We'll disagree with this one as well. I actually don't know how you could agree with that, but you have the choice. So we've set our points for 3 points here, and so we're going to move on to choosing groups. Groups are critically important to the functioning of the app because they're the lens through which the user gets their information. There's so much information on the back end of this app, and people might see certain events in or certain companies or products through many different lights, different purposes, but in order for it to be relevant to the end user, you need groups to filter that information for you. And so once we've calibrated our compass, we're eligible to follow groups, but we can only follow groups that have answered their compass questions exactly the same way that we have. So you can see that this is the symbol for points. While World Wildlife Fund has answered 2 points, and they've answered them by necessity the same way that we have. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see these groups on this screen right now. Animal Justice Project has answered 1 exactly the same way. So let's take a look at Animal Justice Project. And this is the point where we'll look at some groups, and if we agree with what they do, we'll follow them. So let's say that we've taken a look at Animal Justice Project and we like what they do. We're going to follow this group. Let's go back and let's do that with one more group. Maybe we've even heard of World Wildlife Fund before. We like their mission, and so we're just going to right off the bat follow them. Okay, so now we've calibrated our compass. We've followed a couple groups. So let's see what it actually looks like to use the app. So we're going to gauge our first item. Okay, so let's say that we're in the store. We have an item in our hand. We type it in the search bar here. We have a makeup product in our hand. So we type it in, we search for it, and it pops up in our results. I'll explain why there are multiple results in a later video, but for now we're just going to click on the first one. And we can see that this makeup product that we have in our hand is in violation of our morals. It's pretty clear we should not support it. This means that it violates one of our points. Okay, and you can see that it's summarizing the idea here that it violates at least one of our points. We can get more info in the Compass and Stamps tab, which is this one here. So let's take a look and see why. And it turns out that this Revitalizing Supreme Plus cream by Estee Lauder is tested on animals according to this piece of information that one of our groups has uploaded, or has stamped rather, and that'll become clearer in a future video. And the point exactly that it violates is that it's not okay to cause intentional harm and suffering to animals. And so according to our stated beliefs, through the judgment of the groups that we trust, it's not okay to use or to buy this product. So this has been just a really zoomed out, high level look at how the app functions. But in a future series, we're going to take a look in much more detail at what a lot of these things mean, how the back end works, and then how users can get involved in the functionality.